What's up, you tiny tinseled Pop-Tarts? Time to talk about my favorite info dump, the Santa Claus movies. A trilogy movie series, supposedly turned very horrible TV show, starring America's most obnoxious, controversial dad, Tim Allen. I personally loved the movies as a kid, and I still love them now, even though I criticized them very harshly as an adult. But that's because I believe most of the plot points in these movies could have been prevented. I'm talking to you, Curtis!
The designification process has begun!
I feel it must be made blatantly clear that I have personal beef with Curtis. I think he's a really dumb character, and I think we should have stopped listening to him after the events in the Santa Claus 2 movies. But more on that later. I also feel I should admit another personal bias I have for another character in these movies. My husband, Bernard. With that all being said, I'll be breaking down these movies individually per video, and depending on how well the series goes, I may do a review on the TV show, which I have not watched yet because I am afraid of killing off whatever remaining brain cells that I have left. Although, if it means getting to see more Bernie Boo, I'd be willing to sit down and watch it through because I would do anything for that man.
We don't just make toys, we make dreams come true.
This is an extremely in-depth analysis of the Santa Claus movie. I hope you enjoy. Starting off, we see that Scott Calvin, the dad, is at a corporate Christmas party for the toy company he works for, celebrating their
best year ever, thanks to Do It All For You, Dolly.
They never explain what she does. She kind of just looks like a regular doll. But supposedly she's supposed to do it all. She's supposed to wrap Christmas presents, be there for Christmas cheer, and some other bullshit capitalistic thing that they said she can do. I don't know. But immediately we can get a read on the type of person Scott is, interrupting his female coworker while she's trying to give a speech, practically pushing her out of the way so he can talk.
We're also about families. But our families aren't here with us right now.
He even makes an inappropriate joke about a coworker's relations with a secretary who was sitting on their lap while he was dressed as Santa. And now I take this time to tell you that Scott is the reason. We have to watch HR training videos on sexual harassment. Mr. Calvin, we have talked to you about this several times. You can't just make comments like that about your coworkers, especially at a Christmas party! But don't worry, he's like this with all the women in his life. He's so important. You can also tell he's Mr. Rich 90s douche because he has a phone in his car, which really told people you were a millionaire like back in 1994. We also got some nice foreshadowing because there are elves all around him. They're everywhere. They're in the shops. They're in the phones. It was an inside job, I tell ya, it was an inside job. Scott finally gets home, and his son Charlie is waiting outside his house with his mom, Laura, and her new boyfriend, Neil. Ew! I don't know if Neil's her boyfriend or her husband. Either way, more on Neil later. We can already tell that Scott and Neil don't really get along since Neil won't get out of the car, and Scott thinks Neil is a scam artist because, therapy's just a conspiracy theory, man, you can't fool me! You can also really tell that Charlie is just so excited to spend Christmas with his dad.
Do I gotta stay?
Listen. Now, as a fellow child of divorce, I can say they nailed the parental dynamic to a T, especially the 90s version of divorced parents. Mom's got a new boyfriend the dad doesn't like. The dad works all the time to pay child support, so he doesn't really get to see his kids a lot. And the kids don't really like the dad all that much because the mom's constantly talking heavily about him, even though she swears she's over the divorce. But she's secretly regretting everything, and she projects all of her insecurities onto you throughout your entire life. Wait, what was I talking about? Anyways,
Oh boy!
Anyway, Charlie reveals that Neil doesn't believe in Santa, therefore influencing him not to believe in Santa because Neil's a doctor, so that makes him super smart. Which is when we hear Scott's favorite catchphrase.
He's not a doctor, he's a psychiatrist.
And while I don't necessarily like Scott all that much in the beginning, I hate Neil just as much, if not more, especially throughout the entire movie series. He is not a good psychiatrist. He has horrible takes for someone who is supposed to help people with emotional hangups and mental disorders. And I would dare argue he has his own unpacked trauma he himself has not worked through, and therefore tends to project it onto what he perceives with his oh-so-special PhD degree to be weaker minds, like Charlie, who's only 8! So Scott gets upset when he finds out that Neil telling Charlie there's no Santa. So he confronts Laura, who explains that a bully told Charlie there was no Santa, and so he came home crying, and instead of like consoling and reassuring their child, Neil decided to tell him that Santa was more of a feeling, whatever the fuck that means.
Well, he sat him down and
Told him that there was a Santa Claus.
well, all he said was that Santa was more like a feeling, you know, more like a state of mind than a person.
Kind of like Neil.
So this leads to a small fight where Laura says they're trying to give Charlie a firm grasp on reality, as if Charlie isn't fucking 8 years old in the fucking movie.
It's a good idea. You don't want kids running around using their imaginations.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's 6! He's fucking 6 years old. He hasn't even hit puberty yet. What are you doing? He's just a baby! So, Laura and Neil leave Scott and Charlie to their festivities while Scott tries to relearn how an oven works. And like every typical 90s single dad, Scott burns the turkey into a molten art piece. So they have to go to the one place all the single dads take their kids for Christmas dinner when they forget how a kitchen works. Denny's.
Everybody likes Denny's. It's an American institution.
Dad burnt the turkey.
Oh, yeah, this way.
So Squat and Charlie end up having a lovely, boring Christmas dinner in the quiet, awkward Denny's divorced dad section. Like, seriously, was there a divorced dad con that week in Illinois? How do so many single dads forget how to fucking cook? What the fuck is happening? Back at home, Scott reads The Night Before Christmas to Charlie, bringing Charlie to start spiraling about the reality of Santa by playing 20 questions with his dear old dad.
What's what?
A road such a ladder.
It's not a ladder.
Cylinder fly.
Fairy dust?
That's from Peter Pan, Dad.
Horns.
Antlers.
Whatever.
If Santa's so fat, how do you get down the chimney?
He sucks it in like Grandpa.
But what about people who don't have fireplaces?
Sometimes believing in something means you just believe in it.
But you do believe in Santa, right, Dad?
Of course I believe in Santa.
Maybe you better leave some cookies and milk out.
I'll just go breathe the oven.
And don't forget the fire extinguisher.
Good night, Charlie.
The night goes on, and Charlie rose to such a clatter on the roof and immediately believes Santa exists and tries to wake up his papa in excitement.
What? Charlie, do you know how to call 911?
Sure, 911.
I would have said some shit like that if I was 6 years old too. Like, are you shitting me? Scott goes to see whom the fuck is on his roof. And sure as shit, it's Santa. So at this point, Scott is wrestling with some form of plausible deniability on how, quote unquote, Santa died by falling off his roof, which I mean is like fair, you know? Like, we can't have Moida in a Christmas movie. Think of the children! Then a magical ladder appears out of nowhere and just smacks Scott right in the face with a callback to Charlie's childlike innocence. Meanwhile, Charlie is living his best life investigating the reindeer and the sleigh, all while his dad is in the background screaming,
Charlie, 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 Charlie!
Meanwhile, Scott has to re-remind himself that he does believe in Santa, otherwise he's just a big old fat liar, just like that monster, Neil.
You said you believe in Santa, right?
I did? I do.
Scott tries to get Charlie out of the sleigh, but instead accidentally uses the reindeer's
I'm not kidding.
danger word.
Let's go!
Charlie convinces Scott to cosplay as Santa for the rest of the night, all while trying not to catch a charge, or in some cases, these hands.
Nice teeth.
It felt like America's Most Wanted.
Santa is watching his saturated fats.
How come you don't have a beard?
Because I shaved. Do you want this doll or not?
I don't think I want it anymore. After Scott and Charlie's big overnight adventure, they think they're gonna go back home, but nope. They end up in the snot-freezing cold weather of the North Pole. It doesn't actually freeze anything. It looks like an afternoon in an outdoor set in Pennsylvania. I digress. Do you wanna build a snowman out of asbestos? Scott gets really annoying here while the elves dialing them in gets real smug, like he's got dirt on Scott's college years or something.
Hey, buddy! User, hey, can you hear me? Hey, buddy, we need some help. Hello?
When the pimp's in the crib, ma, drop it like it's hot.
But but really, Scott's just a dumbass who relies on Charlie for the insight all of a sudden before we're introduced to the North Pole and my husband!
That's the North Pole.
What is that?
Oh my god, what is that?
What the fuck is that?
Oh my god! What is that?
What is that?
Scott wants answers, so he starts chasing down elves to try and find the manager. Oh my god, what a fucking Karen.
Orders. Who's your boss?
So he and Charlie can go home, only
who's
it
the
proves
head
to be a
elf?
bit more difficult than he expected. This is when we meet one of the best characters in the entire movie series. My husband, Bernard.
Hey, who's causing all the trouble around?
Who are you?
I'm Bernard. Nice to meet you, Santa.
Nonetheless, this is where Bernard and Scott have a back and forth debate, revealing a whole new dilemma onto Scott, including a possible relationship wound about Scott and his divorce with Laura.
I've got homeowner's insurance and a good attorney. Not as good as my wife's, but let's not open up that wound.
You know what? I got something for you. Now, very old, just like me. Ciao.
No, Larry, don't do that. Charlie?
He'll be okay.
This is also where I first developed my love for Bernard as a child. I know that sounds fucked up, but I do not care. This is the first time I saw this man and was like,
You know what? I got something for you. Follow me, you want to get out of those clothes.
yeah, that's mine.
And putting on the suit and entering the sleigh, the wearer retains all rights to any previous identity, real or implied, and fully accepts the duties and responsibilities of Santa Claus in perpetuity until such time that wearer becomes unable to do so by either accident or design.
What if I don't buy into this Santa Claus thing? What if I choose not to believe it?
Spiraling into a psychosis with a heavy mind and a full belly of hot cocoa that took 1,200 years to make.
Not too hot. Extra chocolate. Shake it, not stir.
Scott gets into his fancy Christmas pajamas and falls asleep in the sleigh bed with Charlie. They wake up Christmas morning, and Charlie is screaming for Scott to wake up because it's Christmas, bitch!
Let's start shaking, Charlie. Okay. Okay.
Scott wakes up back in his normal bed at home, but he's still in the pajamas, the Christmas pajamas from the night prior.
Oh.
So Scott is very thrown off by the fact that he's still in the pajamas from what he believes was a dream. To the point where he retraces all of his steps from the night prior to find no evidence of anything happening. There's no dent from where Santa was, the clothes are gone, the reindeer are gone. For all Scott knew, it was just a dream. Meanwhile, Charlie is very nonchalant about the fact that they went to the North Pole and how Scott is the new Santa, so he feels the need to tell literally everyone he meets.
Yeah, Dad's the new Santa. The regular Santa fell off the roof. Then Dad put on the suit.
Charlie, we'll discuss this at home.
My dad is Santa Claus.
Also, can we just take a moment to talk about Neil's sweater? I know it's like the constant butt of the joke in the movie, but like his sweaters look like Afghans my great-grandma used to knit before she died of old age. Maybe that's what's happening. Neil wears these sweaters to honor his gam-gam, and now he won't even take them off during set. Laura, get out while you still can. Nonetheless, now that Charlie doxed his dad for being Santa Claus, they have a sit-down with the principal telling Scott he's got to tell Charlie that he's not Santa Claus. And this is where my biggest pet peeve comes up in the movie as well as the second movie, which is that Scott is an absolute menace whenever somebody puts him in a parent-teacher conference. He doesn't listen. He's constantly interrupting and talking over people, which I know is not out of a character for him, but like, he's always trying to find the quickest solution and end the whole conference as quick as possible. And it's not very fucking constructive. That being said, I also can't stand Neil in these scenes either. Mr. I'm a PH douchey, so everyone should listen to me. Like, if he was a good doctor, I could understand. But he needs his license revoked. This is honestly giving me the ick because it feels like Neil uses his status as doctor just to be able to hear himself talk and stroke his own psychiatric ego.
I am a doctor.
No, he's not. He's a psychiatrist.
The last thing you and Charlie did before you went to bed Christmas Eve.
We shared a bowl of sugar, some shots of brown liquor. I had my shotguns, field dressed a cat, looked for women.
What book?
Hollywood Wives.
And did you go to the North Pole?
This is ridiculous. I don't have time for this.
You need to sit down with Charlie. Explain to him you are not Santa Claus.
We now see Scott really trying to drill it into Charlie's head that he's not Santa Claus, but Charlie, being the ever so headstrong boy he is as his father, refuses to back down from the dream excuse, especially because of the snow globe he still has from Bernard.
Charlie, this is a toy. We used to make things like this at work, but no one bought them.
And like, look, I can maybe understand a parent being concerned about a child having too serious of a delusion on reality, but in hindsight, Charlie isn't doing anything wrong necessarily, nor is he hurting anyone. He's pretending to fly Santa's reindeer in his bedroom like any other child at play. I've done weirder shit when I was 6 years old. I was pacing around my house listening to music or running into walls because ya boy was maladaptive daydreaming so hard I might as well have teleported myself into another reality. Charlie pretending to fly some reindeer is tame and harmless. Now, these next part of the movie really start to piss me off, so buckle your seatbelts. We're heading full speed ahead on the rat ride!
How can one man, in one night, visit all the children of the world?
I think there's some sort of time continuum that breaks down what Santa's in a sleigh.
What about fireplaces? A lot of people don't have them. How does Santa visit those people?
He turns into jello and the fireplace kind of appears and he goes through it like this.
Neil once again proves he is a horrible doctor by trying to logic with a 6-year-old to make him believe Santa isn't real.
Have you ever seen a reindeer fly?
Yes.
Well, I haven't.
You ever seen $1 million?
No.
Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
This part right here. Oh my fucking gods! How does a 6-year-old child have a better concept of theology than a supposed fucking psychiatrist with a PhD? I don't know where he ordered his degree off the dial-up of the 90s, but he needs a refund because how is, well, I haven't seen it, so it doesn't exist, your use of logic in this scenario?
Boy, you got more important things to worry about, you know. Like, where are you gonna get more sweaters after the circus pulls out of town?
Okay. Neil is the source of all my holiday ire. He has no right, even as a step-parent, to make that decision. He has this attitude like he's got this big dick because I have a PhD, but that doesn't mean shit if all you do is talk to stroke your own ego. And worst of all, Neil's suggestions are the only ones we see throughout the rest of the movie that Laura could give less of a shit about. And after she spent the entire movie complaining how Scott's never around, suddenly she wants to take away his visitation rights because Charlie actually cares about him. Make up your fucking mind! They even keep using Charlie as, like, this excuse when they're trying to deny him the imagination and innocence he needs for his age, because they were heartbroken by their own personal bullshit of never getting their dream gift. Now they're projecting onto him? They even keep using Charlie as the excuse when they're trying to deny him the imagination and innocence he needs for his age. But because they were heartbroken by their own personal bullshit of never getting their dream gifts, fucking your Oscar Mayer wiener, fucking Neil. Now they're projecting onto him that he needs to grow the fuck up at the tender age of sex. Get fucking bent, you selfish fucking kids! Now, because this entire situation, Scott is forced to ask Charlie to keep the North Pole a secret because heaven forbid you play D&D one night with your kid, and now they're threatening your visitation rights because that's apparently too much whimsy and wonder for Twildwin. This is where my new pet peeve comes into play in the movie. The shitty attitude of the 90s healthcare. Scott is clearly gaining weight at a stupidly unhealthy rate, and nobody seems to fucking care. I think the most concerned people in this movie about his health are his colleagues at work, especially his boss, played by Peter Boyle, who is later Father Time, by the way. But we will save that rabbit hole theory for a later date.
We don't have time to unpack all of that.
Which says a lot about the other people in his life who don't really seem to give a shit.
Bee sting. Evidently, I'm allergic. Almost killed me. But the guy at the emergency room says the swelling will go down.
Stung by a bee, Scott?
A big bee?
You're falling apart.
I know. No.
Well, just get some help, you know? You should see a doctor, a shrink, a dietitian, anything. Just get some help.
Nonetheless, we notice Scott's appetite change. He's eating more cookies and sweets and drinking more milk.
And I'll have a Caesar, no dressing. And one of those homemade cookies, the warm chocolate chip, no nuts. And a little slice of cheesecake, creme brulee, and hot fudge sundae. Extra hot fudge.
Anything to drink?
Ice cold milk. Finished?
His attitude also changes, like he gets really weirdly defensive on behalf of elves and all things Santa, and he suddenly really cares about the sleigh and reindeer as if Santa in a tank isn't metal as fuck.
Total tank.
No way! No way Santa's going anywhere without his sleigh.
But Scott nonetheless takes his boss's advice and sees a doctor, but as we're about to see, physicians in the 90s didn't really deserve their PhDs either.
Well, nuts. Oh no, your pulse is great. I don't know, Scott. You're as healthy as a horse.
Yeah. Clydesdale.
Okay, look, so what? You put on a little weight. Does this look like a little weight to you? I've gained 45 pounds in a week. Well, what's your diet like?
Milk and cookies.
Really?
But I don't finish all the milk.
Well, then there is your problem. Just try to cut back on the sweets, okay? Oh, it's middle age, buddy. It happens.
This man gained 45 pounds in a week, while his hair is white before he retired, like before he even retires, and it's growing faster than Usain Bolt can run, but his vitals are normal. How? How is nobody concerned? Not to mention, the doctor just shrugs it off and tries to write everything off as if it's a part of age or a bad diet. Like, I'm sorry, but what? If his diet is too much milk and cookies, his blood sugar should be tested. Heart rate playing Jingle Bells? Nah, I'm just hearing things and you're getting old. Everything's fine. Did he get his degree off the same dial-up too as Neil? Is the doctor friends with Neil? It's all a conspiracy! Mind you, he's having a pretty mild reaction, but imagine if this was all happening to a woman. They'd get dramatic and tell her she's at risk of becoming diabetic and force her to go on a restricted low-carb diet because she'll ruin her chances of childbirth. The absolute heresy!
It feels like the male fantasy.
We now cut to Scott watching Charlie's soccer game when a bunch of fucking kids start lining up to sit on Scott's lap to tell him what they want for Christmas. First of all, where the fuck are the parents and why is no one doing anything? If this happened now in 2025, I'm gonna be pretty honest, he'd probably get acquitted on lack of evidence, even though a mom would likely pull out her phone and start recording him and screaming at him, only to sue her for slander and probably end up winning. What are we talking about again?
Okay, slow down now. You're not there yet.
Oh yeah!
Hold on.
Wait a minute, I'm not done.
Fax me.
I think it's safe to say you're taking the Santa thing to an unhealthy level.
Again! Nobody cares about the fact that Scott has had major health changes in a matter of weeks. And worst off, they point the finger at him, claiming to be doing it on purpose. Like, ma'am, if that were the fucking case, Scott would be dead by now from a diabetic shock alone. Also, Scott's better than me here. I would have ripped up Neil's card and told him to go sit on his fucking dial-up degree. I also just realized one of the kids in the soccer game yells at Laura because she's in such, like, shock. She loses all spatial awareness, and it's just... Scott then gets a package later after shaving his beard again, which happens to be none other than the list.
Yo! Take that, come on! What are we supposed to do with all these packages, guys?
Neil and Laura are at their wits' end, assuming Scott planned this all on purpose and are trying to figure out what they should do.
What are we supposed to do?
Well, there's one obvious alternative.
Is there, Neil? Is there only one obvious alternative? This man is gonna give me a fucking aneurysm. That smug little fucking look on his face is fucking pissing me off. I hate this man almost much as I hate Curtis. Now we see Scott looking a lot more like Santa, making his rounds on the list, I guess, field work, I don't know, man. But he flirts with the only adult on this walk, and she's like, in your dreams, sleigh boy. But doesn't address the fact that, like, he calls her by name. Like, she doesn't know who he is, but he refers to her first name. How is she not freaking out? I would be. She didn't even mace him. Like, at this point, Scott has to realize that everything is not a dream and he really is Santa, because he sounds so defeated after his hair does a soft reset.
I'm in big trouble.
But on another note, if he wanted to prove to everyone that he wasn't lying, he could just shave in front of somebody and have them watch while it grows back, like, instantly. Like, at that point, nobody can say anything. Unless the secret of Santa from the third movie plays into it from the start and it wouldn't work. Conspiracy?
Coincidence? I think not!
Nonetheless, we cut to Charlie and the assholes, I mean the Millers, at the courthouse talking to the judge about Scott's visitation rights, which is when we find out about the lore.
I was Charlie's age. I wrote Santa a letter every week that year. Boy, I really wanted a mystery date game. Christmas morning came and... oh, I got dozens of presents, except... mystery date.
I was 3. And it was an Oscar Mayer weenie whistle. Christmas came, no weenie whistle.
The seed that blossoms into all my rage is right here. Because you're telling me, as a fucking psychiatrist, that because you didn't get a stupid weenie whistle, you let your scared inner child fester so badly that you project all of this onto your stepson. All that smug, self-righteous PH douchebaggery! All because you didn't get a teeny weeny little fucking weenie whistle you can put your lips onto! Just go to fucking San Francisco and get a secret boyfriend like most PH douchebags did in the 90s. Don't sit here, force a 6-year-old to grow up too quickly and stop believing in Santa because if I can't have Christmas joy as a young impressionable toddler, no one can! Fuck this motherfucker and fuck his Scrooge-ass mentality. I'd just like to take this moment to say that I hope there is a loose thread in every one of Neil's sweaters, and every time he pulls on it, a hole grows or sprouts anew, ruining his fucking closet. I hope the moths eat your whole wardrobe, you asshole! I'm a little sad that there was no Santa versus Neil fight, but maybe that's in the TV series. Nonetheless, Scott's now accepted the fact that he's Santa because the power of Christmas magic convinces him. So he asks to say goodbye to Charlie in private, but then here comes the boy! I'm also not surprised their bird is dry. It matches Neil's personality and Laura's taste in new men. So they head off to go save Christmas, but Laura doesn't take it very well. If you could be so surprised.
This is our perpetrator, Scott Calvin, 38 years old, believes himself to be Santa Claus.
But now that the cat's out of the bag, this movie becomes so unserious. And it's one of the reasons I fucking love it.
Some great ideas on how to keep you safe. Santa, this is Quentin, head of research and development.
Santa better watch out. These child labor laws don't play around. Charlie at least makes sure to call his mom on his company break and make sure he's okay.
Fabulous. What happens if I fall off the roof? But what do I do if I fall off a roof?
Meanwhile, Santa is worried about an accidental retirement. But it's a little funny how nobody addresses his worry about it, all while there's a Santa Claus manhunt back in Illinois. They're out here ignoring Santa's fear of falling while referencing ZZ Top. The only person who gives a shit about Santa's fear of falling is adorably Comet.
From Comet to Santa. Did you make the card?
Charlie shows Santa his new sleigh setup, but they got Charlie in a booster seat. Like, what the fuck? A booster seat. I get he's 6 and he's supposed to be safe, but fuck.
Two-way radio.
Also, why the fuck are they popping out oatmeal raisin cookies? Where is the obviously superior chocolate chip? How am I supposed to I hate you. How am I supposed to be a ho-ho-ho in these conditions? We finally come back to the girl who asked for Annabelle at the beginning of the movie, and this sweet girl gave him soy milk because he told her that he was lactose intolerant.
I think the milk's a little sour.
It's soy milk. Huh? You said you're lactose intolerant.
I did say that, didn't I?
Then Charlie wants to stop by his house to drop off the gifts he made at the factory. And the police got him!
Freeze!
You officers really gave me a start. Merry Christmas, guys.
Not for you, fat boy. Fat boy? Nice and easy now.
The elves figure out that Santa was taken and have to call in their own backup. Also, they're drinking, like, potions in front of a whole-ass alchemy set? Like, what the fuck? I'm assuming it's their type of elf alcohol. Dude? They're also trying to interrogate Santa for his dead name, but it's Tim Allen. Did they really expect a straight answer?
I say name, you say Scott Calvin. Name?
Chris Craig. Santa Claus, Père Noël, Babo Natale, Père Nicole, Papa Gijo.
Or has the power of the Secret Santa affected Santa this early in the franchise? So they lock him up because he didn't conform to the societal norms. And the elf mercenaries arrive to save Charlie and to get Santa back on track. Also, like, did none of the cops actually check the roof? Like, did no one think to look at the damn roof? So they go into the police station to bust out Scott, commit some minor elf war crimes against the receptionist, and leave him an example to other cops. This is a great kids movie.
We're your worst nightmare. Elves with attitude.
Untie me! I mean it!
Charlie!
Are you okay, Dad?
Tinsel, not just for decoration.
No, we've seen your email history. We now cut to Charlie coming home from being with Santa, and it is a very tearful reunion. Santa gets his hat back and has to have a very, very hard talk with Charlie now.
I don't have a lot of time.
We better go.
No, Charlie.
No.
No.
Wait, Charlie.
It's okay, Laura. Actually, I think it's a much better idea that you stay here with your mom and Neil. I can't be selfish. I can't be with you all the time. We're a family, and they need to be with you too.
I miss you too much.
Shut up. I'm not crying, you're crying. Shut up! Laura and Neil finally realized Charlie was in fact never lying, and Scott really became Santa. Neil took a tad bit longer to admit it, but he does eventually come around. And of course they have to show my husband.
What's all this boo-hooing going on here? Hey, how you doing?
Coming to help save their asses one last time.
Well, goodbye. Charlie, you still got the glass ball, right?
Yeah?
Well, all you gotta do is shake it whenever you want to see your dad.
Really?
He can come back to see you anytime, day or night. Hey, have I ever steered you wrong?
Oh my God, he's so goddamn cool!
Nice sweater. Hey, did we make this?
Laura?
You know, you don't have to send me. Hey! Oh my gosh! Wait, it's my ex-husband and he's already up the chimney.
Gods, more of these secret elves in the background. It's a conspiracy, I tell you! But in the end, Scott becomes a better father by becoming Santa. Charlie starts the process of having a better father-son relationship with a legend. Laura realizes she should have stayed with Scott, and Neil starts to become a little less unbearable, but like not by much. All in all, as chaotic and ridiculous as it is, this is still a favorite from my childhood, and I rewatch it every year during the season. But what are your thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments down below.